This is my first foresight, so bear with me. My first presentation, my first talk, so it's quite interesting. Hopefully I'm not going to go completely flat on my feet. So I'm Mark Stowe, I'm window cleaner, as I've said, business coach, mentor, and also today, but right now, an inspirational speaker. Or I hope to be, at least, anyway. So my intention today is to share with you some of my experiences, life experiences, business experiences, which hopefully will become valuable to you. You'll be able to, if you find them valuable, you'll be able to transfer them and use them in your business too. My first tip is to make notes. I make notes all the time. I'm not just saying that because my talk's going to be that good. I just mean make notes when you're at work, even when you're at work, you have ideas, especially when you're on holiday. I find when I'm on holiday, I'm chilling out, bing, 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 all these ideas start coming out. As soon as I get home, what was I thinking about? Just gone. So make notes as and when. And every sort of, I don't know, no sort of fixed time, but every month or so I'll just refer back to my notes, my journal, however you want to call it, and often find useful bits in there. It's a little fact file about me. I don't want to go on about it too much. There's not much value there, I don't think. So I was born in 1985. I was raised in a single parent family. A couple of years after I was born, my mum decided to leave the family. Probably within a year, my brother and my sister left also, leaving just myself and my dad. From that, I failed at school. Nothing to do with my family, just I wasn't interested, quite frankly. Then when I left school, I realised I couldn't actually get much of a job without any qualifications, and all the jobs that I thought I was entitled to, millennial thing, I thought I was entitled to, you need qualifications for. So I thought, right, I'll go back to college, do my GCSEs again. Then I realised why I failed in the first place. I do not like education. So within 6 months, I had dropped out. But here's the thing, my dad instilled 3 rules to me as I was growing up, which was you stay in education, be it school, college, university. Not that we could afford a university, I don't know why that was in there. Go to work to pay my house keep, or you leave. So when I left college, again, being unqualified, I had to find a way of providing my house keep. So I went from one dead-end job to another, factory, labouring, whatever the case may be. All the usual sort of crap, if I'm honest with you. I had no interest in it. And I kind of found out that you had to keep going to work every day, just to keep your job. I didn't realise that. I thought you just had to go to earn your bit, pay your dad, keep him quiet, and then you just chill out the rest of the week. It does not work, you get sacked. So April 2004, I've got the maths right, trip over my lace. April 2004, just turned 18. I lost my job the main reason I lost all my jobs was lack of attendance. That's why I failed at school, that's why I failed at college. There's a theme, attendance theme.
We're lucky you turned up today.
You're lucky, you're very lucky you turned up. But here's the thing. I had this inner voice, right? We've all got this inner voice. We all have that inner voice. It's always telling us to do things, do this, do that. Sometimes we listen to it, sometimes we don't. At this precise moment, I did listen to it. I left. I rang up that job that morning, complained about a backache or something, and they said, "Thank you very much, Mark, don't come back." I was like, what? Figuring out my dad's rules, I didn't want to go through this again. I literally wrote a little note to Dad, gone to London. I came from Essex, a little rural part of Essex. I wasn't intending on doing this wasn't a plan, I didn't save up a nest egg, I literally came to London with nothing. I was homeless. Induced myself to be homeless. But I trusted the instinct. My instinct was there to go. I went. And it kind of worked out alright. I was a lot skinnier back then. I've put a bit of weight since. But that inner voice also told me 31st of July 2006, it's now time to start your own business. I became a dad, second time. First time is a bit of a different kind of story. But for the second time, I became a dad. It was now time to start your own thing. You cannot rely on the judgment of other people to keep you in a job. I did have a job at this point. It's amazing how things change. When you actually need a job to find your own way in life, you kind of appreciate it a little bit more than when you're a stroppy teenager. Even though I was still a teenager, I suppose. So, my son was born, I had the inner voice, start your business. And I did. That was 12 years ago. The other thing about the inner voice and trusting it, in 2015, I think it was. I should write these dates down really. Quite useful. Roughly 2015. I had the opportunity to go on the Money Pit, which was a TV show on Dave. That's where I met or found out about the likes of Croz and Brad. To be honest, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even known about 4N. I wouldn't even be here. Didn't even know this place existed until I started researching Brad. The only reason I found out about Brad is I was watching back the shows because I'm that vain. I'd like to see myself on TV. Who wouldn't? Thing is, when I went to the show, it was like an investment Dragon's Den kind of thing. So I guess that is kind of a talk actually. So I kind of lied, not deliberately. I kind of lied. So you're standing in front of about 40 investors. I'm pitching, not really my business. I'm pitching myself, who I am as a person. And my inner voice said, "Don't worry about scripts. Don't worry about cue cards. Just go out there and know that what comes out of your mouth next will be exactly what you need to say in order to get what it is you need to get." So I just winged it. My first opportunity on TV, and I winged it. Thankfully, I nailed it. And I got exactly what I wanted, which was full investment, which basically is a gift. I didn't have to give anything away. It was an angel investment. There's your money, Mark. Thank you very much. Exactly what I wanted. It's the wrong way around. Okay. Remember that. So what is it you actually want? Some of us don't actually know what we do want. I often talk to clients. First thing I say is, what do you want? It's amazing what people, they think they know what they want. As soon as you ask them, their mind goes completely blank. If you don't know what you want, you can't get it. Quite often, if you're vague on what you want, life will fill in the gaps. Quite often people say, I want more clients. Well, life will go, there's 10 clients. They're all crap clients. They're not going to pay you, but you wanted more clients. There they are. So be very specific. Sometimes you don't know what you do want, start with what you don't want. So if you don't want to be 16 stone, Mark, don't eat loads of ice cream and pizza in bed. If you don't want a job, make sure you take care of your business. Little things like this. So start with what you don't want and build from there. When I was homeless, I came to London. Even though I had nothing to lose, I had no rent to pay, I had no obligations, I had nothing. So I had the opportunity to go, right, what did I actually want? Now I wanted to work in the motor trade, I wanted to be in a garage, I wanted to be around cars, I loved cars, I still do love cars. So I spent weeks, every day, walking the streets of Romford, Gideon Park, Harold Hill, all those kind of areas, going into every single garage looking for a job. I didn't get one. Every single one, day in, day out, said no. But I wasn't willing to give in. At that opportunity, bearing in mind I'm homeless, I am freaking starving, like literally, really slitting. I wasn't prepared to go back to going for a job, for the sake of a job. I wasn't going back to McDonald's, I wasn't going back to a factory, none of that. I was determined, it's garage. Garage or I die. Simple as that. It's a bit extreme, but that's what I put out there, and life went, okay, you're serious, there's your garage job. And it kind of found me rather than me finding it. But I knew what I wanted. You can't get what you don't know what you want. It's quite an interesting one. It seems to be a theme in business. It's about people loving what they do. It does help, but I don't think it's necessary. And I think people actually rob themselves because they love what they do. I was talking to one of my clients just the other week. They absolutely love what they do, but because they do, I describe them as a all-you-can-eat buffet. They just open to everyone and everything, and they're doing so much for so very little. There's no value in them. They're just getting used around all the time. So it's quite dangerous to necessarily do only what you love. You're taken advantage from. And I've actually found that on the flip side, if you learn to do the things well that you don't actually love, there's actually more benefit there, in a business sense, in a personal development sense. I'll be honest with you, I don't particularly love, especially 6 months a year when it's freezing cold, going out to my van and it's freezing cold. My hands go in freezing cold water. I wouldn't say I love that, but what I love is what I'm able to get from it. The life I live from that, life on my terms, is available from doing what I don't necessarily love, but I love my life. just part and parcel of it. One thing I've always been aware of, climbing ladder, might not love it, there'll be people out there that would have loved, it might be in a wheelchair or whatever the case may be, to be able to do that. Given the opportunity to climb a ladder, would have taken it. And there's me moaning that I've got to climb a ladder? No. I'm going to appreciate every step of this. Fine, I'm out in the cold 6 months a year. But I appreciate the fact that being out in the cold means I go home to a warm house. I know what it's like to live in a cold house, it sucks. Warm house, warm bath, warm food. I love that. Undersell and over deliver. A bit what I was saying about earlier about loving what you do, sometimes people go overboard. Managing expectations of your clients, I think, is vital. A lot of people, especially in the window cleaning game, they guarantee, 100% guarantee your windows, or money back, or a free clean, whatever the case may be. But what happens is, if you have expectations that the windows are going to be 100%, what do people do? There's a tiny, tiny little mark. You can come back and clean my windows. If you hadn't have put that on there, they would have just gone, yeah, they're clean, and carry on with their life. You're setting yourself up to be basically interrogated. I don't believe you should do that. Set a standard that you're able to maintain. Again, people put such emphasis on going overboard that when people come back to you because of that service they had, you can't fulfill that. You've gone overboard. Quick story of mine, personal experience. I won't tell you exactly where he is, it's not very fair, but I went to a new barber's opened. Very, very quiet, and I was literally the only one in there. But nice little venue, thought give it a try, it was local to me. I had a below average haircut, if I'm honest with you. But the service was 5-star. Drinks, massages, the whole lot was wonderful. So I've left with a below par haircut, but I felt amazing. I felt like a king because it literally rolled out the red carpet for me. So where do you think I went back a couple of weeks later? I went back to him. But guess what happened when I went back? Get in line. All I left with was a below par haircut. No service. So do you think I ever saw that place again? No. Did not manage his expectations. I've done that myself when I first started window cleaning. I saw the amount of below par work around my area. So I go in all guns blazing and keen as mustard to do the best job everyone's ever seen. But then I realised it wasn't sustainable. Doing this amazing, amazing job. Of course I could have charged for it, I do now. But at the time when you need the money and you're not experienced and confident and have the right assets in place, it's hard to actually get that top value when you've just started. It's really hard to get top value when you're knocking on someone's door with tracksuit trousers, trainers and a t-shirt. It's quite easy now when you turn up completely branded up with everything asset-wise helping you out. It's pretty simple. So I had to manage my expectations there. Work-life balance you mentioned earlier. I think it's a very good one. Does anyone here believe it's a myth? That it's not achievable? Damn, I was hoping everyone would say no. Cool. So, for me, I realised quite early on the work-life balance that I wanted. So if we go back, my transition from primary school into high school, because it was just me and my dad, it was difficult for him to work and raise me. So in my earlier years, it was really, really fun. It was just me and my dad. Bike rides, football, watching films. About once a month we used to go to a local video store to hire a video. It was brilliant. In terms of like the quality of the relationship and the time spent together, you'd have had to be a millionaire to experience that kind of time with someone. It was amazing. But we didn't have much. Didn't have heating. Didn't have much food. I was clothed first. My dad would then go to the charity shop to buy his clothes. Quite often we'd run a hot bath and the boiler would go. So it'd be like kettles. By the time you've got that much water in the bath, It's gone cold anyway. So, you know, you get the point. But here's when I realised something. My dad then got a job. Totally understandable. Great. In comes Sky TV. In comes a car. In comes the little creature comforts that we'd have loved. We so enjoyed. But I was having fun on my own watching Sky TV. Be it football, be it films, be it WWE back then, or WWF I suppose it would have been. I was on my own. We had a PC. I was playing computer games like Solitaire, whatever it was, on my own. I was playing the console. I had an Atari, the joystick. Used to play that with my dad, literally every night. I've now got a PlayStation on my own. See, we had these creature comforts, but it took away my dad. Obviously, it doesn't really work like that. He had to get a job. So I kind of realised that for me, the work, like this is for me, obviously everyone's got their own versions of what work-life balance is. But for me, work-life balance is to have enough of the creature comforts. Obviously, basics are great. So on top of that, a few bits of cream, a few cherries on top, but also enough time to enjoy them. That, for me, is the work-life balance. And having that in place means that I value my time differently. I value my services differently. So I'm not the cheapest about, especially for window cleaning, because I want to be at home on the PlayStation with my son, down the park, going for nice walks with my wife. These are all things that are valuable to me. The way I was able to set up work-life balance was boundaries. Again, I said before about people so over-eager to help and do things. I set up boundaries from the day my son started preschool up until year 5 in primary school. He's now in high school, he's 11 now, almost 12. I didn't miss a single pick-up or school drop-off. My choice. So when you ring me, so can you clean my windows on Friday 9 o'clock? No, I can't. Can you come on Tuesday 9 o'clock? No, I can't. Can I come Wednesday at 3 o'clock? No, I can't. I was willing to turn down work, even though I might have needed it, for that work-life balance. So boundaries. Think about boundaries when you set out your business. It's quite an interesting one. Did I choose window cleaning or did window cleaning choose me? Perfect. So you kind of guessed I started window cleaning because I felt that I needed to start something. I couldn't rely on other people to keep me in a job. I didn't really have much else available to me. You've got £200 in the bank, you've got no qualifications, what exactly can you start with that? So that's why I chose window cleaning. If I was to go back to primary school age, again, me and my dad walking down the village towards the high street, there's like one shop in our village, and there's a Rover SD1. For those who are not familiar with it, it's an old Rover from the 80s, I think it is, maybe the 70s, big V8 engine in it, sounds lovely. Walking past it, I'm glancing in the window and there's leather, cream leather, and I was like, Dad, by the way, I don't understand money at this point, I don't understand that you have to have money to have things, I thought it just appears at Christmas. So I walked past and gone, Dad, can we get one of those? No, can't afford it. Ah. So whatever you're doing, can't afford to get that. What does he do, which means he can afford it? Anyone ever guess? Window cleaner. If we go back even further, who remembers the storm of '87?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? So I'm looking at about 2 years old at this time. We had a few tiles come off our roof. My dad's put me in the back garden. I'm supposed to be playing in the back garden while he's up the ladder fixing the roof. To his surprise, when he was to turn around, there's little old me at the top of the ladder in this roof. So perhaps it's always my ambition in life, or perhaps life chose me to always walk that ladder. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Stowe, more than a window cleaner.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.